getting in shape and having an amazing body, you know, it is the most powerful thing you can do because that cannot be bought.
What would be the first step that is an actionable thing that I can go and do right now to at least gain that momentum?
I think as a man, like your life has been made so you go through pain.
99% of people out there are fucking out of shape.
Yeah.
Right? But that doesn't mean it is okay. A lot of people that are listening to this that have been led to believe that the more protein you have, the more muscle you're going to build.
Yeah. What happens is that protein can get converted into glucose. It can get converted into glucose. Sure, it can be used as energy. But I'd rather have more carbs. If you as a guy go through the most incredible body transformation and you see yourself in the mirror, you've got abs, you've got an incredible physique, you are not going to feel depressed anymore. It's not acceptable to just have low standards and have a dad bod, and you need to man up. Like, imagine living a life of not unlocking your full potential.
Who has bigger biceps?
Out of the two of us?
I
mean, you've got bigger.
I don't know, bro.
Bro, you do have bigger.
I don't know. Even if someone says, hey, Damian, so like, when am I going to be going into like my bulking phase? I'm like, okay.
That word, remove that word.
We're going to delete that.
Why just never say that word?
What would you say is like the one thing that most people get really relaxed on?
On holiday.
Yeah, on holiday.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another podcast, YouTube video.
Yeah.
Round 3 with my boy, Sir Damian Schechter.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Welcome back to Bali.
Yeah. It's been very good so far, I have to say. As you guys probably know, we've done 2 podcasts.
Yeah.
Where was the first one we filmed?
First one was I did it with you online. I was in Portugal, you were in the UK, and this is like, I think like maybe 2 months after we met. And then the second podcast was when
last November.
Yeah.
Round 3.
That's it. I actually put something up on Instagram yesterday asking people to send some questions in, so we'll run through it today.
There's not a huge agenda for today, I suppose. It's there. Super chilled.
Yeah.
Got coffees.
Yeah, we just slept in like a really nice villa. Really beautiful. I'll definitely include a few snippets of this.
This place is insane, isn't it? Yeah.
Insane. Had a really good sleep last night well, not a great sleep. I think we both
Fortunately, I didn't have a good sleep last night, as we recently discovered this morning. Something bit me.
Yeah, well, we thought it was tendonitis.
Yeah, so I naively thought that, you know, I developed a severe case of tendonitis in a case of 12 hours and I'd never had it in my life. I was like, this isn't normal.
No, I'll look at that, bro.
There's 0 sleep last night. I literally came in to get some ice out of the freezer, like 1 a.m. Didn't really do much, to be honest. And then I literally was like trying every single angle, but it's on fire, bro. It was so painful. But you know what? I woke up this morning. We get it done anyway.
We get
a couple of coffees. Yeah. We'll be fine. We'll see how we're feeling later on, but it's all good. I mean, this is just the perks, I guess, of living in Bali, right? It's wildlife,
Yeah. And it's everywhere, man. Like, I think people forget that like Bali is built on like rural land.
Yeah.
You know, like all the infrastructure of the roads, like the new buildings, the happy shops, the restaurants, like they're all built on like a jungle island.
Yeah.
You know, so it's almost impossible to like escape snakes, spiders, you know, scorpions. I've had a few.
But there's actually like not any poison spiders here though, is there? Well, like bad, bro. Because I had a look on
your elbow's looking pretty fucking serious, bro.
I had a look on ChatGPT and it said that there's not any like venomous, bad spiders here. Like they're not gonna like kill you.
Yeah,
you can get like, I think there's like huntsman's wool spiders, weebs, something like that.
Yeah,
Webster spiders.
Cool. Yeah. All the goodies, bro. And you know, like ultimately, it is one of those trade-offs that when you come here, like, you know, when people come to Bali and they complain about mosquitoes, or they complain about like, oh my gosh, there's a lizard or a gecko in the room, like, yeah, that's part of the experience.
Getting bitten is part of the experience. It's gonna happen at some point.
Yeah, it can be avoided like at all costs, but to be honest, like it's gonna happen at some point. You know, I think especially with something like Bali belly, for example.
See, I haven't had that yet.
Well, I don't.
And I think I would rather take a bite on my elbow, which is obviously gonna be pretty sore for today,
like a near-death experience from food poisoning. Yeah,
100%, and get Bali belly, because that would write me up. Like I wouldn't be sat here now filming a podcast.
Okay, is it Bali belly? Or is it a weak gut microbiome,
you know,
was not conditioned to unsanitary conditions?
Potentially, because I've never, touch wood, actually had like a severe case of Bali belly, like whatever Thailand would have as well. Like I've never really suffered, and I mean I eat all the time. I'm not I haven't got the best food hygiene. Like I'll eat a chicken breast if it's sort of, you know, smells okay. If it's been fridge a couple of days, reheat rice, yeah. You know, all the stuff they tell you not to do, but, you know, I'm slamming hand anything, so
Right.
we're all good. But anyway, we're not here to talk about getting bitten by spiders.
Yeah, or barley belly.
We're not here to talk about barley belly.
But we're here nonetheless, man. And once again, like we're in such a beautiful villa, and like it's such a privilege to be able to like actually do something like this, especially in like such a
This is the coolest place we've definitely done a podcast. To be fair, last time was in Genesis was good, but this is just it's next over lovely villa, yeah. Really, really nice villa. And this is myself and Damian's home for the next couple of nights. Well, last night and tonight.
Yeah.
Basically just to do cool stuff like this. So yeah, I think starting off with then, maybe we can dive into a couple of the questions that you've got, and then we can kind of like branch into some other areas as they kind of they crop up. I mean, I was like, you start.
Well, there was one question I put out. I think I even read this to you last night. Was like staying on track while traveling, and obviously that's something that you and I are very familiar with. Traveling to destinations that are a little bit more third world, or the food is a little bit more localized. And I think when you're speaking about Asia specifically, vegetable oil, deep fried, like there's a lot of, it's not the healthiest nation.
Yeah.
And even though the amenities that we have here available to us in terms of food prep, healthy places to eat, it's really clean, it can be well prepared. I think that's where people kind of struggle to understand that like that actually can be available to you anywhere in the world. If you go to a first world destination, it's definitely available. And if you come to a third world destination, you stop looking for it because you just assume that it's not here and it's not a thing. But I know with you and I, wherever we travel to, it's the number one priority to go and look for. So
100%.
I think to maybe just kind of like, from my side, it's a very simple answer. How do you stay on track when traveling? You prioritize staying on track when traveling.
Yeah, for sure.
What would you say to that?
I think there's, I think it's we have to distinguish between, is it like long-term travel like us, like, going to somewhere and staying there for like a longer duration, like month, 2 months, or is it a holiday? Like, is it a time when you're actually going away to have a holiday because you want to relax? Some people go on holiday maybe twice a year, so once a year. So it's about trying to understand what the intention of that trip is. This is what I say to my clients. Like, if you want to go away and really enjoy yourself without worrying too much, then that's fine. And like, you can kind of just enjoy the holiday, get back afterwards. And look, if you've gained a little bit of weight, it's not the end of the world because that does happen too. So I think the first thing that I would do, even before looking into like trying to figure out kind of what you want, you need to figure out the intention before you start looking into the plan of the action, like for that holiday, before that trip.
Sure.
That'd be the first thing I'd say. And then, I mean, there's a lot of areas we can go into with this. Like, I'm a big fan of fasting, so I use that when I go away. I don't know about you, but I mean, I normally will have my first meal since I've been here. It tends to be around like 11:30, 12. So I like to kind of eat more in the second half of the day. It saves more calories. Obviously, prioritizing protein again. Like, I mean, I just don't eat meals without protein in it. It's just a thing. It's just probably engraved in me more now. And I think again, just sticking to whole food principles. Like, it doesn't really matter where you are, but you can still choose whatever seems to be the option that does contain the most amount of whole food. I mean, I find that being in Southeast Asia, it's really easy to stay on track. They eat a lot of quality food. They use a lot of vegetables. So I think it's a good place to be, but yeah, it depends where you go. But that's kind of what I say to my clients. Figure out what you want the intention to be first. If you really want to stay on track and it's more of a work-based travel, or you're traveling for a few months or whatever, then yeah, we need to get a bit of a game plan in place. But it's simply just like it's okay to maintain. It's okay to gain a pound or two.
Because it's most likely not going to be bad.
Exactly. I don't know about you, but I've had quite a few clients gone on holiday, freaked out when they've got back because they've gained like 3 or 4 kilos and like, I've ruined everything. And then by the time they check in next week, they are like
back on track, and they're energized and they're feeling a lot better with their training, like they're recovering a little bit better.
Yeah.
I think we even spoke about this on the last podcast where like you can actually go away and stop training, and have a bit more food and come back and like actually build more muscle.
You absolutely,
because leading up to a holiday, you've probably been training a little bit more. You've probably been trying to compensate for that. So you've actually been putting the body under a little bit more stress.
Yeah.
But then when you go on holiday and you're taking off training, you're allowing your body to recover.
Yeah.
And then having a little bit more calories, a little bit more food is definitely going to optimize that recovery process as well. A little bit more carbohydrates, a little bit more water retention allows you to actually build even more issue.
Yeah.
So
Cortisol drops.
cortisol drops.
Because obviously people get very stressed. I don't realize that they are sometimes quite chronically stressed. Go away, get some sun, you relax, you eat nice food, you chill with all your loved ones, and that's going to lower. That lowers straight away, like inflammation is going to come down. You're just going to feel way bad. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like sometimes, I mean, for me now, and like yourself, like we're kind of always in a holiday destination, but I felt that when I've gone away, like I've sometimes got in bad shape in a way.
100%.
Because I've just trained. Like I've enjoyed my training. Yeah. I've stayed on top of my steps because it makes me feel good. I always do a little bit of cardio in the morning because I just feel good as well. Like it's to boost my mood. Then, you know, I'm like I said, eating quality food. I'm not working as much. And that takes away a lot of the stress that my body's under when, like you say, we're training hard, we're working, we're hustling. And I think it's good to have a bit of a break. So I think that's the way you got to frame a holiday. Like when it comes to staying on track, body needs it, which is really important. Don't worry too much if you do gain a bit of water weight because that's normal.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, it's like 1 to 2% of your year, right? Probably if we do a true workout, how many weeks someone's actually going away for compared to 365 days a year. It's about what you do when you're not on holiday. Just what people don't understand. Like you're consistent all the other weeks, skin freaking out, like go away 2 or 3 weeks a year.
I think that 1 or 2 weeks also goes by so quickly, bro. Like, and the thing is, if you're obsessed with like what your weight's doing, I think that's actually the first thing. It's like if you're obsessed with what your weight's doing, you're not actually focusing on like the longer term picture of why you're doing it.
Yeah.
Right. Like I know with most of my clients, the reason why we take them on a 6 to 12 month journey is because we're not focusing on what's happened. Like, what did your weight do this week and next week and the week thereafter? Let's look at things on a monthly, 5-monthly basis and see what's trending. It can cause such a negative mental response when it's like week 1 before you go on holiday, you're at your leanest, and then like 2 weeks later, you're back and you get on the scale and all of a sudden you're like, 2, 3, 4 kilos up and you feel like you've lost, right? Oh my gosh, because I think it comes down to how you quantify your progress. And so when the role is to get leaner, you're quantifying your progress and your wins by what's happening on the scale.
Yeah.
Right? You're like, okay, I'm definitely getting leaner because I'm losing weight.
Yeah.
So you associate the weight going down with winning.
Yeah.
And then what happens is you get back and now you've had 2 weeks of rest, recovery. You've actually maybe even built a little bit of tissue.
Yeah.
And you get back, and even though you've got a stack of wins, actually you've spent time with family, you got some sunshine, you enjoyed your life outside of work, you know, your body is actually in a much less stressed state. So you're probably going to actually respond to your training a lot better. But then you get on the scale and you allow, it's like, it just blows my mind because I think for me at least, like I've got a healthy relationship on the scale.
Yeah. So
I don't get on the scale because it's not important for me, because I'm just focusing on what's going to happen over the next 6 to 12 months.
Yeah.
Training with intensity and just making sure my lifestyle is geared towards just being all-rounded, healthy, strong, fit, optimizing my recovery. And my goal is not weight loss. So for me, the scale is just really not going to help with anything.
Yeah.
But it's just so easy to get on a scale and you've associated all the like you're winning with the scale going down, and now you get on and.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like you brought up a good point, because this is why I think that longer duration programs like what we do, 6 months, 12 months, are absolutely the way forward. Because if you just do like a 12-week program, like people only ever know or understand the losing weight part. That's what they associate their life as. They just think that they should be losing weight and they don't really know the life after a diet, right? Whereas like when you understand the reverse dieting, you know, the building your calories back up, the maintenance, you start to then be able to enjoy things a lot more. Yeah. And this is why, I don't know about yourself, but like, especially in the last month or two, but like I've encouraged clients, or I've been okay with clients going on holiday. And if I'm on a call, a consultation call, and you know, these holidays coming up, Chris, now's not a good time to start. I'm like, now is the perfect time to start, because you're going to have holidays for the rest of your life. And if you go away now without, you know, you try and find this perfect like block of 12 weeks where you've got nothing on, what happens when life goes back to normal and you freak out when you've been on holiday? So I think it's important to understand how to be able to actually enjoy your life at the same time.
And also navigate it.
100% navigate is a good word. Yeah. Understand how to go away, enjoy yourself, get back. Because that's such a great feeling when you know that you can do that. You know you can go away and enjoy yourself, and even go away and, you know, if you want to take it to the extreme, like, and really enjoy yourself, you're not going to do that much damage, you know, not realistically, especially if you stay on top of your activity. I think that if you prioritize steps and you try and, if there's a hotel gym, if you try and train, I think it's hard to do much damage.
I think even if you are Look, I mean, bro, like I keep alcohol to a very minimum. I'm not gonna
Same.
vilify someone for drinking. Like, honestly, do your thing. Personally, for me, a consistent drinking schedule is not, it's just
Doesn't
a
allow me.
part of my life.
No,
But,
no.
you know, if let's say you are going to Santorini and like you're gonna have
It's like a wedding or something, you know?
Aperol spritzer, you're gonna have a few beers, or you know what, like you're going out for dinner and you're gonna have a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
Like that, doing that for a week or even 2 weeks, you're not going to lose muscle. Maybe I don't, bro, unless like literally you're not moving, you're not getting in steps, you're not doing any training, you're not getting in enough protein. Sure, maybe alcohol could, in a sense, but I think that's when you look at, okay, well, what's muscle made out of?
Yeah.
Glycogen and water.
Yeah.
If you're drinking a lot of alcohol, you're just dehydrating yourself. Are you actually losing muscle, or are you just dehydrating yourself and that's decreasing muscle size and fullness? And because you're dehydrated, you're not as strong, you're not as energized. Right. So I think that's the knock-on effect of drinking more so than it is the alcohol itself is just going to like dissipate and destroy your muscle immediately. So I think if you are going to take it to the extreme per se, like drink while you're on holiday, yeah, there will be a recourse for that. But it's not something that you can't bounce back from
Yeah.
a week like of getting back on track.
I think that's the key thing, right? Like, I think that like if you do go away, and I've seen this with clients as well, when you get back, you cannot procrastinate and delay your like getting back into routine. Yeah. Right. Like I've had clients, people that have been away and they just like messed around, like they've not got back to their training and making excuses.
I need a week to get that.
Exactly. It's like you need to just get straight back. It's not going to feel great. Like you're probably going to feel a little bit.
It's not going to feel great either. Like wasting a month trying to get into your routine.
Exactly. Like I'm literally the next day, like you need to be like, right, I'm going to the gym. I'm breaking the ice again and like getting back into my routine, because that's the most important thing. That switch is the key thing. It's the same with, you know, with weekends and stuff, right? When people go out and enjoy a weekend, and then it takes them days to get back on track because they've drank and they've let the rest of the next 2-3 days be affected as well for making poor choices. If you just literally wake up, get back to normal routine again, you're not gonna you're not gonna lose the progress, which is the key thing.
Yeah. What would you say is the one thing that people, when they go on holiday or they take some time off from like their day-to-day routine, what would you say is like the most common denominator that stops them from continuing progress while they're away, right? Is it more nutrition based? Is it training based? Like, what would you say is like the one thing that most people get really relaxed on
holiday?
Yeah, on holiday.
It's definitely going to be nutrition, I think, isn't it? Because like people are going away to all inclusives or, you know, nice places and stuff like that. You're going to be eating out most meals. You probably are going to be eating typically more higher calorie foods because, you know, if you're eating meals out, the goal of the restaurant or the hotel is not to make macro friendly meals, right? It's got a lot of oils in it, sauces, all these kind of things, which is fine.
Yeah.
So it's definitely the nutrition. Like your calories are going to obviously be much higher. And this is why I think that it's important to firstly stay on top of activity. That, you know, the worst thing you can do is go on a holiday, eat more calories, and not move, because what happens is the scales of energy balance just start going in this direction. Whereas at least if you stay on top of your step count, you're going to find more maintenance, which is what I'd really focus on. And this is what I think it's about, being smart with maybe like your portion sizes. Like you don't need to be sat there counting calories and stuff. And I actually tell clients not to count calories. So I'm like, you need to understand that you don't need to do that, especially when you're away. So then it just comes down to making good choices, portion control, maybe sacrificing some meals. Like I say to people, like, look, realistically, you want to maintain your body and you actually feel good and actually like go on holiday, don't feel bloated around the pool, don't feel, you know, like you've got a bit of a drop in energy. Maybe just sacrifice lunch, right? Like, or breakfast. Because I personally will have, when I'm away, like I'll have like 2 larger meals. So if I'm not really a breakfast person, but there has been times where I've, you know, got breakfast has been included. So I've gone, right, I'm going to have a huge breakfast. Sure. Then I'm not going to eat for the rest of the day. I'm literally going to just lie out or do whatever for the rest of the day, and then maybe have a big dinner, because obviously you are going to do that on holiday. So I think it's just about making a few compromises is probably the key thing. You want to smash 3 massive meals and alcohol, probably going to pay for that.
Yeah.
So it's about trying to balance things in a certain way, because for me, like your health and fitness routine should come around with you everywhere, right? It should be something that's always carried. So that's what I would say. It's the nutrition part is probably the key thing.
For sure. I think also going from like, if we're just talking about like a mental aspect, going from super strict, focused, diligent, adherent, and, you know, really feeling in control, being super motivated, working up to the holiday. and then all of a sudden you drop your adherence, you're not super focused, you're maybe not, it's not your biggest priority anymore. Like the holiday was the priority to get ready, and now you're on holiday and maybe you don't have, let's say, that next goal, or you don't have that next thing that is still keeping you focused. I think, like, personally for me, whether it is like the one time per week holiday per year, one time holiday per year with family, or it is, you're a seasoned traveler and you do a lot of traveling maybe once a month or whatever it is. I do believe that you should always still maintain a structure. And, if let's say you're on holiday and you completely just like ignore any form of structure, and this goes back to what you just said now of like still having steps.
Yeah.
Just have that structure with your steps or with your training. If it's not 3 to 4 sessions a week, twice a week with your steps. I think the second that you completely relax on structure, but you just come from a really great structure, great routine, you're checking in with yourself, you're aware, and you're giving yourself biofeedback of your sleep, your stress, your hydration, your meals, or at least you're doing your absolute best to try and stay on top of that. So now being on holiday, late nights, alcohol, not tracking your food, what that can also mentally do. I can understand if it sets someone off and they get back and now headspace is not in the right place, because literally headspace is not in the same place. Like these are actually two very different individuals. Even in the space of a week, things can actually change quite a lot.
Yeah.
And that can also knock your confidence. And I think when your confidence and your motivation is a little bit low, I can understand from a client's perspective, it is difficult to regain and maintain momentum. But if you can't regain momentum, was the initial structure and plan that you actually had the most sustainable? Like, was it the right approach for you if you can't actually easily adapt and go back to it?
Agreed. 100%. Yeah. No, I think the same.
Yeah.
Was there any other questions or topics that you
Someone asked, who has bigger biceps?
out of the two of us?
Oh,
I mean, you've got bigger.
I don't know, bro.
Bro, you do have bigger.
I don't know. Like, how much do you weigh, firstly? Because I think
88 kilos.
we're about the same, and you're a little bit taller than I am. So I don't know. I think structurally you got
88, 89. I see. I don't rate my arms. I think that they're my weakest body part, in my opinion.
I don't know. I just
I just don't think I've got big arms. Like when I look at, maybe that's like a body dysmorphia thing, which obviously we've all got.
Yeah,
but it's the standard of being a fitness
Yeah.
coach. That's true. But yeah, like I look at my photos and like I that's one area that I would like to improve on.
Well, still feel like a 16-year-old boy, bro. Like this is the body dysmorphia thing, right? Well,
yeah.
I don't think it's like I have an excessive like looking at myself and being like, oh my god, you small boy. Like, trust me, I know I'm big, bro. Like I'm not I'm not disillusioned by like the result that I've achieved after 16 years in training. Like,
I think I've got to a happy place with my physique. Like it's still like, every now and then you're going to look at someone on Instagram and be like, wow, that guy's in amazing shape. It kind of gives you a bit of motivation. But
yeah,
I think probably like you, like I've found a place where I feel good. Like I'm happy with my body. Like I wouldn't really say my physique has probably changed that much in the last like 3 or 4 years. Like I am being realistic. And I did a YouTube video literally on this topic. I was like, my physique's been pretty much the same for the last 5 years. And I'm absolutely, that's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
My video is literally centered around like how most people can't maintain their body composition. And I've maintained it. So have you. So
yeah,
I'm not looking to gain more muscle really now. Like, possibly a bit of main gaining from being at maintenance.
Yeah.
Not really looking to get any leaner. Like you, every now and then I'll go through like a little stint of like dropping a little bit if we things like this, or we just want to be a little bit sharper. But whereas like 2 kilos I'm dropping, my cut is going from 90 to 88.
Yeah.
It's not 90 to 80. It's like, it's a really small little bit of fine tuning. But yeah, I think that's a good place to be. Like my goals are a little bit different now. Like I'm like you, like I train more for obviously like performance. Like I'm just my running. I train to feel good. Probably the biggest thing for me is train to feel good. Like my mood and energy and mindset is in a way better place than my training. So I center a lot of my training around that as well. But I think, yeah, it's a nice place to be where you just, you do feel confident with your body and you get to a place where you kind of aren't chasing anymore. Like, I'm not a fan of the whole aggressive cut and bulk.
Like,
I don't think you are as well because you've always...
I don't do it with myself. I don't do it with clients.
Yeah.
Even if someone says, hey, Damian, so like, when am I going to be going into like my bulking phase? I'm like, okay.
That word, remove that word.
We're going to delete that.
Well, I just never say that word. Like, I'm not, it doesn't, yeah.
It does for me. It's because I've never done it. Personally for me, like I've always looked at things of how can I build more muscle? Okay. I need to improve my performance.
Yeah.
So I need to optimize everything around building tissue. Therefore, it's my performance, it's my sleep, it's my recovery, that's my hydration. So when I look at going into a gaining phase, bulking phase, I like to look at it more as like performance optimization. But yeah, performance
This
optimization,
is what we call our bulking phase.
bulking phase.
Performance phase.
And I think then when it comes to cutting, cutting, I'm a little bit flexible on using the term. That's fine, because, I don't believe that there needs to be like a sugarcoating, musclery version of like these words.
Yeah.
But bulking for me just has a very negative, dirty,
It does.
endless calorie amount.
Wrong connotations to it. You associate it with gaining a lot of fat, and that's not. And also, like, there's been a lot of studies to show now that, like,
You're not going to gain.
you're not going to gain more muscle at all. Like, it's literally like, if you were to eat in a very small calorie surplus, let's say like 200-300 calories a
Main gaining as you.
exactly.
Yeah.
Rather than eating like 1,000 calories over, you don't build more muscle. So what is the logic? The only time that you might build more muscle is, guess what? If you're a bodybuilder, if you're maybe taking enhancements, that might work. But if we're looking at gem pop and people that just want to generally gain muscle, like, you don't need to be eating a huge excess of calories. That's just not needed. So, I mean, I never recommend that to clients. Like, I'd say the most I've ever get to push calories with clients is probably maybe to like 3,500, and that's very rare. Like, normally we get to 3,000, we build a lot of muscle at 3. This is guys, of course.
Because that also comes down to the meal timing, with performance.
How we optimize the areas. Yeah.
Exactly. You wouldn't just say like, here's 3,500 calories for the sake of having 3,500 calories. No. It's like, okay, baseline is, let's say, 3,000 calories, 2,800 calories. What we're going to do to actually improve your performance and recovery is now we're going to take another 300 calories before and after your trade, so that we can improve your energy and then also replenish muscle glycogen. So like, that's where there needs to just be some rationale behind these giant numbers. Instead of like, okay, you know what, putting in 3,500 calories, your baseline is 2.5, 2.8, get the rest in through ice cream.
This is it.
Have another 2-3 slices of bread and peanut butter. Like,
and
it's ridiculous.
Yeah. And that's the problem. It's not even the fact that we're bulking, right? It's literally like, and I had a conversation with someone recently.
Quality control.
Yeah. His coach, I think to be fair, it was a coach from a long time ago. He's like, oh yeah, my coach literally was like, eat anything, where we need to get the calories in at like 4,000 or whatever. And I'm just like, that's not, it's like everything you eat will have an effect on your body. The way that you digest food, something's going on internally, right? So you're eating loads of processed food, multiple ingredients. All that junk is causing that inflammation in your body. It's going to make you feel crap. Your digestion's going to feel shit. You're going to feel bloated. You're going to be gassy. Like, you're probably going to break out. Like, it's skin wise. So there's so many negative effects of what you eat. And this is why, like, going back to it, like, whole food, like, for most parts, is always going to be the king.
Yeah.
Not smashing endless amounts of poor processed junk food to try and get your calories in. Like, you just don't need to do that. I mean, there are some calorific foods that you can eat that are higher fat foods that are still good for you.
Yeah, like you got your salmons, for example.
Yeah, well, sure. Like peanut butter, right? You get quality peanut butter. I don't have an issue with that. I think I technically class peanut butter as almost a whole food anyway. It depends on the type of one. You can get 100% peanuts, like peanut butter. I've had that a few times. It doesn't taste amazing, but like, it's stuff like that. It's good. Even dark chocolate. Even like, you can get it. Some cereal is fine. I don't have a massive issue with that. Some like granolas and stuff. See, oats.
Yeah, look, we don't need to Eddie Abu everything here, bro. Like, you can get away with being a little bit flexible.
Yeah.
But I think just where there's like the additional shit that's put into a lot of these, foods, it is unnecessary calories at the end of the day. Gut disruptors as well, like hormone disruptors. So like, try and keeping it like as little processed as possible.
Yeah.
Something that came to mind while you were speaking is like, it's one thing about calories and performance optimization. What would you say, because there is going to be a lot of people that are listening to this that have been led to believe that the more protein you have, the more muscle you're going to build.
Yeah.
Right. And I've spoken to some people where they say, and let me maybe just give an average demo here of being 175 centimeters, 180 centimeters, 80 kilos. So I think just us knowing that and knowing, let's say, a 3 time per week training schedule.
Yeah.
We can already kind of tell what the protein amount would be. But then you find out that they're, let's say, taking 220, 230, 240 grams protein per day, when in reality, they probably only need between 165 and 180.
Yeah.
Right? With that additional amount of protein that they're consuming, another 35, 45 grams of protein, what would you kind of say to that mentality, or like having that expectation of the more protein builds
better?
muscle?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, there's a couple of things. Like, it's not necessary. That's the biggest thing, right? Like, I don't think it's not gonna affect your
No.
progress. Like, if you have more protein, like, I remember kind of learning about this at university. Like, typically what happens is that protein can get converted into like it can get converted into glucose. Sure, it can be used as energy, like, but I'd rather have more carbs. Like, there's no kind of increase of muscle mass from having more protein. If you just get your basic number in, which is typically going to be about 1 gram per pound, or ideal weight, obviously, if you're a little bit overweight, you're kind of going to be fine. And I would just personally rather have more food from carbohydrates, from fat. So I just think it's unnecessary to be able to go towards the upper end. There's no real need. But at the same time, I do think that, like, you're better off having more than less.
Instead of having more
For sure. Like, if you go like 20, 30 grams over, like, I have some clients that I've set their protein goal at 180, and that they'll just be, sometimes I hit 200 over, and I'm like, that's fine. Like, 20 grams over is fine. That's not an issue. But yeah, you certainly don't need to be eating those, because
I think it's putting the myth to rest.
yeah,
Right, because it is just, oh, well, I mean, I have 230 grams of protein, but
yeah.
I was told that I'm going to build more muscle.
But again, I think more need on to be an enhancement, right? So, like, again, this is where I think that it's difficult sometimes for the bodybuilding coaches to coach general people, like, because if you're enhanced and you're, pushing towards a show, having more protein is advantageous, because your rate of protein synthesis is way higher.
But
you can absorb, exactly. You can absorb more protein. You can utilize that protein to build more muscle, but that's because you're enhanced, right? So, like, when you're not, it doesn't make sense to have more. So I don't think that, like, general population people, like, typically the guys that, I work with, a lot of guys over the age of 30 to 40 to 50, kind of similar to yourself. Busy guys, families, running businesses or corporate jobs and stuff, quite busy professional people. I don't think it makes sense for them to get a bodybuilding coach. I really just don't, because this isn't against bodybuilders and very knowledgeable bodybuilders, but they are very much ingrained in their own lifestyle, and it's just not realistic for most people.
There's a very linear approach. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, it's very much like my way or the highway. Like, they're not like, I've seen them to be not very understanding, and this is because I've had lots of calls with people that have said, look, I've used this guy in the past, it's not really worked out for me. So I think a lot of the general information that people get now, like you said, with the protein intake, with the eating, the bulking, that's another one. That has all come from bodybuilder then getting mixed into gen. And then people are like, oh, well, this guy said that you should do it. It's like, yeah, but that guy's a bodybuilder. It's like, he's competing at a top level. So I think that's where you got to be careful. I'm not slating bodybuilding coaches, but I do think that, be careful,
stay in your lane,
do your research. Yeah, for sure.
But then again, also, if you look at a lot of lifestyle coaches, then
the other way.
Yeah, the other way, where then, and I think this is where you and I have, like, a really good, unique blend, because we come from bodybuilding backgrounds, but we also are very actively involved in endurance.
Yeah, I think we're very conscious now. We're very much like all rounds, right? We've without being arrogant, like, we've walked the walk. We've done.
I've done the shows. I've done the marathons. I've done the Ironmans.
Yeah,
I've gone from 100 kilos bodybuilding to 78 kilos Ironman.
Yeah.
So for me, it's also, and a lot of things come down to Pilates, yoga, mobility work, like, spending a lot of time on my nutrition. So yeah, having that all-round approach, when I can recognize in a client what their wants and needs are, it's because I have a versatile understanding from the all-rounded approaches that I have. Whereas when you're working with a bodybuilding client, they don't understand anything outside of their lifestyles. And because all they've been doing is just bodybuilding and bodybuilding only, to the point where they've kind of forgotten who they were before doing bodybuilding as a gen pop person.
Yeah, 100%. And the other thing I think that makes us unique, and it's not to say there's a lot of, there's a lot of people like that, is that, we've consistently stayed in, even for all these events that you just mentioned and stuff. Obviously, things like I've done marathons, high oxys, straight show, this kind of stuff. We've always been in shape. We've always stayed up. We've always, like, there's not like really a time where we've not been in the shape. And also, like, to put that to the other end of the spectrum, like, we travel, we live a good life. We eat out all the time, right? Like,
I eat out more than I eat at home,
for sure. And we've learned how to be able to balance being lean, being in shape, working towards these big goals, but also having a life at the same time. And this is one thing I really try and nail down to people, especially when I'm speaking to potentially new people who are interested in the program. Like, I really try and explain to them about what flexibility actually looks like, because I'm talking from someone that has actually earned that and done that, and obviously helped a lot of other guys achieve that. So I think that's the thing that I would look at when hiring a coach. I mean, there's a few things there, but is that person living the lifestyle that you want to live? Right? Are they in good shape? Are they in the shape that you want to be in? Do they have a good social life? do they go out? Like, if I want to have a drink, I will have a drink.
Yeah.
That's not something that
I love it.
lines
Feel it.
Yeah, for sure. Like, it's not like I'm totally against it. So I think that we both preach and live very authentic lifestyle that we also coach people with.
What would you say? There's a client that comes to my mind here. You put a video out on YouTube, personal training versus online coaching, right?
Comparison, yeah.
And I think there'll be a lot of people that will listen to something like this that are easily influenced. They're like, you know what? Great. Damian's my guy. Chris is my guy. I'm going to reach out to them because like, I really, like I need someone to help me. And it seems like they do walk the walk and they talk the talk. And, they got results. I checked their Instagram. I looked at the website, I'm so ready to sign up because I really need help. And I believe that one of these guys are going to be able to actually deliver the result because I've seen that they can do it and I've listened to the podcast.
Yeah.
But I think it's up to us to do a service to people and say, don't sign up, don't inquire, or don't take further interest if you're not coachable or you're not ready in terms of what your life looks like at the moment. What would you say to somebody that is listening to this that does want to, but you want them to actually safely consider, is personal training going to help you more? Or is online coaching going to help you? What would you say would need to be like kind of the baselines into an online coaching model? Versus staying in a safe space of accountability and going and seeing someone in person.
It's a good talking point. So, I mean, I think that online coaching, and this isn't, just me because we're online coaches. I do think that for most people, it is the better option because for most people, obviously, that want to get in shape, want to get leaner, that want to, build the body they've always wanted, that's very much going to come down to nutrition. So I think that's why I think we have an edge on that. But I do think in some situations, potentially if you're very much getting started, getting a PT is a potential option. What I don't think is that like you should be consistent. I mean, if you build a good relationship with your PT, I know some people see it as more of a social, so they'll go and they really like their PT, like the session. I don't think you should get hooked into a PT and like it's just almost becomes part of your life. Like every month, I've got my PT. This is what happens with a paid friendship. This is it, and you kind of forget what it is that you're actually wanting to get from that personal trainer, right? It's like you signed up to that personal trainer because you wanted a result. You wanted to look a certain way, you wanted to feel a certain way.
Not to talk about your weekend and how
exactly.
Friday.
12 months has gone by. You don't look any different. You look the same. All right, you're getting beasted in the gym 3 days per week, but you look exactly the same. You're probably about $2,000 down minimum, right? So that's what you need to look at. And if you enjoy your personal training sessions and they really are part of
you're getting what you can,
and you're getting accountability by going to the gym and exercising, okay, great. But for most people that actually want to look and feel a certain way and reach a place with their physique that feel confident, most personal trainers just don't offer that. And I think that like, again, with my program, I'm sure with your program as well, like our goal is to not coach a client for the rest of their life. And I always say this to people, you're not going to need to work the Fit Lab forever. It might be 6 months, 12 months, it might be 5 years.
5 years to give you the education so that you can go and do
this. This is exactly what we focus on. So it's like, you're going to get to a point where you look amazing, you feel great, your habits are going to be in a great place, you'll know what you're doing, you can eat out, you won't need to track your calories anymore because you've understood everything. And that's what our job is, it's education. Whereas I don't think personal trainers offer that. And I think that a lot of the time, you're just getting personal training, you're getting a pat on the back, you're getting told to do one more rep. There's not a focus on the long-term aspect of that. So I think
there's no time that's additionally being given to educate you on how to navigate a weekend. It's how to navigate a holiday. It's like, hey dude, great, that was a good session. Listen, I'll see you on Monday morning. Have a great weekend. Keep it tidy, please. Like, these don't, like, obviously, like we want to see some results, but obviously when I've come from 9 years of personal training. And like I've worked,
you work in the EP, right?
I worked at Ultimate Performance,
which is like the highest
possible levels that you can.
Dude,
it's like biggest compliment to a personal trainer if they work at Ultimate Performance.
You know what, like that in
that's right.
That is a situation where like, okay, like with Ultimate Performance, they get incredible results. Like their transformations are insane. So I would say that they are like not an average sort of service. Like
there's no waiting list service.
Exactly.
Like, you need to get accepted into working as, from a client's perspective, you need to be accepted to because that's the reason why there's a waiting list. They're not focused on bringing thousands of clients through the door just to make the money. Is this person coachable? And I would remember sitting down with my manager after he's just had a consult with a client and saying, Damian, these are the facts, this is their lifestyle, this is who they are. Are you willing to take this client on or not? you know, and that's what I really loved about working there, was because it really did introduce me to a very results-driven personal training environment. Because for 9 years before that, maybe 8 years before that, I had been coasting as a PT and, hey bro, so good to see you. Okay, cool. So what do you want to train today? Bro, you should never ask a client what do they want to train for. Like, my job is to facilitate the
Or like making up a session on the go.
make a session. Oh, you know what? Someone's on the bench press. Yeah, so I have to think. You know what? Let's just do some. And then you're like,
And this is the thing, you get a busy gym as well, and you're like, it's actually hard sometimes because you've got a busy gym, and like, if I've got a client there that's paying you, you're like, well, I planned that, and I can't do that now.
Yeah.
And you aren't efficient.
no shade to being in a situation as a PT like that. Like, trust me, bro, you have to, if you know what you're doing, you'll be able to use 1,000 different pieces of equipment and get the job done. But I think there does need to be a game plan. When a client signs up with you, you say, okay, 6 months from now, what do you want to achieve? Okay? And then based on that, you need to work back.
Yeah.
If someone comes into my online coaching business as a client and they say, you know what, December time, I want to be as shredded as possible. I'm going away, I have a wedding, or, you know, I want to be able to take my shirt off and be with my family and feel super confident. I want my kids to look at me and admire me and see a strong, focused, diligent dad. Great, that's the goal.
Yeah.
Now let's actually architect that backwards, right? What are the things we're going to need to do? Whereas PTing, if you don't do that goal setting and you don't have that North Star to work towards as a client and as a coach, it becomes an open-ended contract.
Yeah, of course. This is what happens.
This is why I left that self-employed PT career and went and worked at somewhere like Ultimate Performance, because they want to get the results as soon as possible.
And they push you to get the result, right? Otherwise, you're out.
Bro, you're not interested. Actually, you know what? If I don't get a result, I don't get a promotion.
Yeah.
If I don't get X amounts of results, I don't even get considered for promotion. If I don't get the promotion, bro, I don't get fucking paid more, right? So for me, I was incentivized. Whereas I think when I was a PT, getting paid every month was already the incentive to just wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and go and do my job.
Exactly. And I feel like as well, like, this is a typical one, but like, sometimes personal trainers, I think, will almost like withheld information from their clients because
To keep them for like,
longer.
Yeah.
I mean, can you blame them? Like,
no, I don't blame myself for doing it.
to an extent. Like, you're running a business at the end of the day, and like, that's kind of, and you've only got a certain pool of people that you can market to, right? Because you've only got the gym membership. I know it's a bit different maybe with UP, but still they're kind of the same. Whereas obviously with online, like, my job isn't to keep a client forever. It's like, we've got an infinite pool of clients that can come and join us anywhere in the world, right? So if we get a client an amazing result and they transform their body, they write us an amazing review on Trustpilot, well, guess what? Like, probably going to have another 3 or 4 clients that will sign up. So
if I don't get you the result, I don't get more clients.
No, exactly. So it's a different way of building a business. And like you said yesterday, we get a lot of referrals now, especially since our recent shoot that we just done. He had, 7 guys, absolutely smashed it. Like, looked amazing, all very sort of busy working guys with families. They were dads, looked incredible. They looked really, really good. And, they shared their results. They were really proud of what they've achieved. And we had so many people that like, oh, I saw X's result. I saw his result. And the process and then signing up as a client was so simple. It was so easy. I didn't even have to say much because they'd already seen their friend completely transform. That's how a business should be built, in my opinion. Like, that's how a coaching brand should grow. Not from poor, like false marketing, like the whole sort of like, what you're seeing now with the way that content is sometimes coming across from other coaches and stuff, negative hooks, all that kind of thing. I think be a really good coach.
Get the result.
Get the result. Be a great coach. Share the results. Like, I share a lot of
and don't be shady.
Of course, yes.
Don't be shady.
Yeah. Like, we share a lot of like video testimonials as well. So that obviously it's great to see, you've seen amazing before and after, but you don't maybe quite know what's gone into that. It's not always
a story behind it.
There's a story behind it. Yeah. Whereas if you get someone that stands, sits in front of the camera and really explains their journey and like, this is where I was, this is where I am now. So many guys can relate to that.
Yeah.
Girls can relate to that. That's where I am at the moment. And then that really gets them to understand the journey. So that if I was to give a tip to anyone looking to build a business or an online coach, is just be a good coach. Like, this is why we're doing what we're doing, why we're able to be in places like this and have a good life, because we've got good at what we do. I mean, let's not miss that. Like, even with this whole world of digital marketing now, like, it's not, forget the basics of just be a good coach, do your job well. You're constantly going to get referrals.
I think there needs to also be, you come from a personal training background. There needs to be that committed skin in the game for a certain period of time. I think a lot of people come straight from getting their certification, right? Or if they even got a certification,
Yeah.
right? I think a lot of people, if let's say you just have a good Instagram following because you have a good body and you go train and you've taken a little bit of gear,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And now you've self-qualified yourself,
Yeah.
okay, to then start an online coaching business. I can throw a lot of shade to people that I personally know that have gone from not having certification, not having studied a single fucking thing, but they had a good body because they started training younger, so they have more muscle, which means that it makes it a lot easier for them to continue seeing good progress. Let's say they're taking some supplementation, they're taking a bit of gear, or even if they've actually not done any of that and they've just been mega consistent for 5-10 years, whatever the case is. But you don't have qualification or actual and anatomical, physiological understanding of what you're doing.
Yeah.
And now you skip the personal training game,
Mm.
just went straight online, right?
Yeah.
I feel like when it comes to understanding people, building rapport with people, understanding human emotion,
Yeah.
you need to have that personal training skin in the game.
Yeah.
I think if you're also really self-taught,
Yeah.
and you are a very approachable person, maybe you can skip that and go straight into it. It's kind of like, you know, I think COVID taught us a lot.
Yeah.
You know, COVID definitely taught us a lot of like having to think out the box and jump to a different solution very quickly.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, sure, it's not a standard go from studying into personal training and then you can be accepted into the online coaching world. But I do definitely think that there does need to be some time put into personal training.
Yeah.
Understand humans and other. And actually, when I speak to you about training with intensity, I need to know what that was like. I need to actually speak to you from a personal training perspective of, okay, you know that feeling when you are, 2 reps before failure. Great. That's when I need you to really pull fucking finger and go harder. Whereas if you just spent your whole career behind a desk, can't relate that to somebody.
I agree. Yeah. You get quite a lot of that now because, like you say, that there is no accreditation, there is no barrier. There's no way of being an online coach. No, anyone can become an online coach. So, like you. I mean, I rarely get asked now, like, what are your qualifications?
I've never been asked.
I never really get asked this.
Oh, really?
I've done a sports science degree. Like, it's not really something that I get asked a lot. But yeah, I agree. I think there's two sides. I think there's two sides to that. I think that like sometimes if you get the right person, especially with like what I've done, obviously I've taken on Matt. He hasn't got a personal training qualification. I think if he was to have started the business, obviously like what we've done, like that would have maybe necessarily he would have needed to have done like what you just had, a really had skin in the game.
But speaking earlier about his experience with other people,
exactly,
and that is an asset in a business.
This is the thing, and this is what I think one of the most crucial skills is as an online coach. It's actually being able to talk to people, right? Even if you've got all the qualifications and you've done all these like amazing like nutrition courses.
No, that understands anything.
You can't talk exactly. You can't actually talk to people and actually relate to people and then get them to buy into you and be a problem solver. You're not going to be able to be a good coach. And I think that's one thing that Matt's got. Like he's got a lot of experience. Obviously, he's been in the military, he's been in the RAF, he's been in the police. Obviously, like probably the biggest problem solving job you can ever have by the UK police. He's done a lot of things. He's traveled. He's been to a lot of places. He's got a good grasp on what it's like. So I think, and kind of the other thing to that as well is that like, because he's not done personal training and he's not been taught in a certain way, he was quite easy for me to go to coaching because I was like, well, look, this is what we do. This is how I do it with our clients. And he was very easy to mold into the coach that I want him to be. Whereas like sometimes if you get a coach that's possibly a little more stubborn, oh, well, I've been doing this for all these years. This is how I coach my clients. Sometimes it's hard to be able to get that person to coach in a way that you want. So I think it depends. Like if you're starting out and you're creating a new business, yeah, I think that you should. I think you should have been a personal trainer. I think that it makes sense. I think if you're potentially looking to be part of a brand, it depends. Like you need to, without a doubt, you need to be interested in fitness. Like Matt is, always trained. He's always played sport. Yeah, for sure. So he walks the walk. And I think that this isn't, I'm sure a topic which I think we've discussed this before, but like out of shape coaches, right? Like coaches that
we can go back into that.
We can go back into it.
Yeah.
I think it's always a hot topic on the industry, and I see more now. I've seen recently like coaches that have gone, I think, viral from actually being like overweight and fat.
I think this is,
Body positivity.
Body positivity, man. And you know what? The body positivity movement's dead.
Yeah.
Actually, it is. Like there was maybe a time of 3-4 years ago, where like every major brand was choosing fat and unhealthy and out of shape models for their campaigns to make it inclusive, but the reality is that like there's nothing acceptable about glorifying being unhealthy.
Yeah.
It is not an inspiration to other people to look after themselves, right? If anything, it actually says, hey, you know what? This is a normal body. And like, I don't care if I get crucified for saying this, but yes, it's a normal body because 99% of people out there are fucking out of shape.
Yeah.
Right? But that doesn't mean it is okay. And I'm also not saying that you're a bad person or that you are worth less. I'm not saying that you're worth any less than I am, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's not about that. But it is not okay to, it's just not okay as a personal trainer to be out of shape and either complain that you don't get clients or that you don't get results or whatever it is, right? I don't think it's an inspirational place for other people to look after themselves.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I think that now, like, we live in a world now that I think is just, it is a bit soft. Like, we live in quite a woke world where, like, it's kind of more acceptable to not be in shape, and it's okay to not exercise and go to the gym. And, I'm so against that. Like, I think that, like, I remember I get quite a lot of hate on some of my posts, of course. I mean, that's the part of growing on Instagram. But
Yeah.
I remember, like, I put something out recently. It was like, there's no point in having like a 10 there's no point in having like a 10 pence body. I can't remember what the quote was now, with like, being rich, right? Having loads of money, having loads of abundance in the berries and stuff. And I put that out there, and then someone commented, like, slated me. Oh, you can't do that. 10 pence body. Who do you think you are? All this kind of stuff. And I'm like, people need to say it how it is now.
Yeah.
Like, that's one thing. Like, we need to say it
And
how
I'm not
it is.
trying to offend anyone.
I'm not trying to offend
I
anyone.
couldn't care to offend you.
Like, when you grow up as a kid, right, and you look at the sort of people that you idolize, depends obviously when you grow up, but you look at like James Bond and like these people and stuff, and like you want to grow up to be an absolute weapon. As a guy, you want to grow up to be in good shape. You want to look at yourself in the mirror, have confidence. You want to be able to walk on the beach and feel like an absolute king. Like, you want to be able to raise your children and feel like a super dad. And people need to say it how it is more. Like, it's not acceptable to just have low standards and have a dad bod, and that's okay. Life is busy. Like, you need to man up. Like, imagine living a life of not unlocking your full potential.
Yeah.
And this is one of our clients who absolutely smashed it, Tom. And he put quote out. He put his transformation poster for him looking insane, and he put a caption. The caption just sits in my head because it was a really good caption. Can't remember exactly, on a butcher it, but it was something like, imagine what it feel like as a man to grow up knowing that you haven't reached your full potential. Something like that.
Yeah.
Imagine it's something like that. Like, imagine being like, a man never reaches his full strengths in life with his physique. Something around those lines. And do you know what? That's so strong. And like, obviously he looks amazing shape now, and he's absolutely achieved that. And I think that to myself.
Yeah.
Imagine being a guy and like never seeing what you could actually look like if you really worked hard. You had the right structure, the right accountability. You were, someone who actually properly believed in you and coached you. Like, it's just like, it would scare me for me to be on my deathbed and see what I could have looked like if I put a little bit more effort in. I showed up for myself daily for consistent weeks. That's the thing that would scare me the most.
And I think something that you said there is like, even if it's just slowly, right? And it's small changes, that can lead to the result that you want to see at the end of the day. While I was speaking about this, I obviously we've got both got very similar clients.
Yeah.
But there'll be some guys that are really not in a good place at the moment. And like, I won't obviously mention a client of mine's name, appreciate client's one, but he's been dealt a really fucking dark-handed life over the past, let's say, 2 years. Came out of a marriage, kid doesn't live with him. He obviously, being the provider, works very intense hours in an industry that requires him to be offshore in a dark place. He's in an incubator where, let's say if you're on a vessel on a rig in the middle of the ocean, where food is prepared for you, you don't have access to a gym, and let's say there's an injury, right? You've got a shoulder injury or you got something. So there's like all these cards that are quite stacked against us. Not saying, hey bro, you're not going to be shredded anytime soon. Like, your value is less, because that's not going to help. But what would you say could be and I think I'll kind of go after you and
Add this
good topic. But, there are a lot of guys that are going to say, Damian, Chris, you guys are sitting in Bali on a nice couch in a beautiful villa. And you're kind of slating the fact that, like, it's not okay to be fat and it's not okay to be out of shape. And as a man, you should be better, but here's me in my situation. I would love that. And I'm hearing you guys, and I think it's great that you guys are bringing this up and making it a topic that needs to be spoken about more. But I'm in a really shit place and I don't really know what to fucking do. What can I do? What would be the first step that is an actionable thing that I can go and do right now to at least gain that momentum to losing a little bit of weight and regaining control, without it being an elaborate, the 10-step guide. I need to start journaling. I need to start doing this. What would be like the first thing you would suggest someone to do to just get out of a rut? So like starting point, baseline.
Yeah. I think that, I don't know if this answers your question entirely, but it's a really good topic. It's kind of led me on to think about something else. But I think you just got to you got to rediscover yourself as a man, in the sense of, we're all going to go through adversity. I think as a man, like your life has been made so you go through pain, right? You're going to go through pain. You're going to go through trauma. Shit's going to go wrong, right? And I think you've got two choices when these things happen. And again, I give you a really good example, because one of my clients at the moment, again, I won't mention any names and he'll know who he is if he's watching this, but going through a divorce at the moment, really tough. Didn't even see it come in. Obviously, really, really like struggling, court cases, all this kind of stuff. And do you know what he's done? Like, that has been like so admirable, is that he's just gone all in on the program. He has not missed his cardio sessions. He's not missed his training. He's tracked. He's getting his check-ins done. He's staying accountable, because he was given two choices, right? He was hit with a real tough moment for sure, a lot of adversity, and he was given two choices as a man: either pull to old vices, alcohol, drugs, pornography, whatever, right? Anything that people go to, or go all in on rediscovering yourself as a man. Prioritize yourself, because that is one of the most powerful things you can do.
It's
right? 100%. You've been hit with a lot of adversity. You've probably been led to feel that you're not adequate. You're not what that person wants. And he's gone and thought, you know what? I'm going to push myself so I'm going to go all in on this. He could have quit that up. He could have been like, Chris, I'm going through all this now. Divorce coming up. I can't carry on. And I would have probably level with him on that. But he didn't. And I think that's what happens as a man. I think you have two choices when you go through adversity. I think you have the choice of, like I said, taking the vice or going all in on your physique.
The self-development route or the self-destruction route?
Is that bang on? Destruction and development, right? And I think that, like, you cannot tell me, again, bringing up something, this is like something I saw like an Andrew Tate thing, but like, the guy who's depressed, got a six-pack, supposedly wasn't depressed anymore. I can actually relate to that. Because if you as a guy go through the most incredible body transformation and you see yourself in the mirror, you've got abs, you've got an incredible physique, you are not going to feel depressed anymore. You're going to feel fucking great. You're going to feel like a new man, and you're going to be like, I just discovered this whole new worth of like discipline and drive that I didn't even know I had.
You would probably not be happy or fulfilled if I gave it to you. No, that's the thing, right? It's like, if you had to be really out of shape and I was like, hey, you know what, dude, like, as we said on the podcast, if you have abs and you look at yourself in the mirror, you're going to feel fucking amazing about yourself. There you go.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? So tomorrow morning, I want you to let me know how you're feeling.
Yeah.
They'll probably be like, oh, I feel like shit.
Exactly.
It's that journey that you go through of the battle, of you actually having to like stay focused and consistent where you don't want to be.
Yeah.
These are the character building steps that are going to get you to become that person. At the end of the day, it won't be about the abs. It'll be about the man that you look at in the mirror and say, I knew you could fucking do it. And you did it.
Yeah. And this is why getting in shape and having an amazing body is it is the most powerful thing you can do, because that cannot be bought. Like, you could be born into finance. You could be gifted an incredible job opportunity or whatever. Like, you could take over a business from your family, whatever, right? You can get lucky in life. You cannot get a good physique. Right? You can take Ozempic, you can take Mounjaro, you can take steroids, but you still have to put in the work. There is nothing in this day and age now that literally means you take a pill, you wake up, and you're shredded, and you're lazy.
And you won't be fulfilled even if you do.
Exactly. So I think that's why, like, out of everything, like, and this is why, having a good physique is so powerful in so many areas of your life, because anyone who looks at a man and can see that he's in amazing shape knows what he's gone through to go and achieve that.
Yeah.
And there is nothing else you can say in life that you can definitely know that has been achieved by that person without, like I say, getting a hand down or getting lucky, getting an opportunity. That person is putting the work to get in shape.
Yeah.
That's why it's so powerful. That's why I urge anyone listening to this or wanting to go on that journey, to go on it. Because you can
And goes all is on your life. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
You will change your life entirely, and you will look at your life in a completely different way. Having your outlook on life, it's not just obviously about your physique. It's all the other areas that are going to fall into place when you start to get in shape. The level of discipline that you've got, the routine that you build, the success you have in other areas of your life. You make more money if you're in shape. It's just like not all the time. Unless you're IFBB broke.
Yeah. I was thinking about this yesterday, bro, where I was like, if you are not at the top of the bodybuilding chain, and even so, that prize money still does not support the lifestyle. It's so expensive, bro, to like be living this, this bodybuilding lifestyle.
Expensive, man, isn't it? I remember someone breaking this down about how much they're spending on like growth hormone and all this stuff, and I'm like,
that's rent right
like
there. Yeah.
Not, yeah. I'm like, and under the food.
Yeah,
£300 a week on food probably from all the like it's expensive lifestyle. It's really, really all the blood work.
But this is why just keep it at a lifestyle, perspective and approach. It doesn't need to be aggressive. I think the more aggressive, like just it becomes such a harder journey down the line to maintain.
Yeah.
So for me, like had that bodybuilding time, like it was a great 5-6 years, but it's better to just be at maintenance, main gaining.
I agree.
Main gaining. That was the first time I've ever heard that term, is when you said it just now.
It's stuck.
Yeah.
It's stuck. And what if I had to describe that? What I mean by that is like basically working your calories. Because as we know, you can build muscle at maintenance.
Yeah.
Right? But maybe not a significant amount. So when I say main gaining, it's pretty much sitting 100, maybe 200 calories above your maintenance. So you've just got a little bit more energy surplus to be able to grow.
Yeah.
But not at the cost of losing a sixth hour, not at the cost of losing abs. You can absolutely do both. Could it be a bit slower? I don't think it is personally, but even if it's a tiny little bit slower, it's worth it because you're going to see.
You could technically be at 1,000 calorie surplus.
Yeah.
If you're not training with intensity, you're not building a fucking gram of muscle.
100%.
This is I think where there could be so much time not wasted in a lot of people's journeys, money not wasted, intention not wasted, where they say, okay, well, I'm going into a gaining phase to pick up more muscle, but you're not training as hard as you should be.
Yeah.
So like, why are we focusing on, I need to have more food to build more, to pick up more size, when like you're not even progressively overloading. You're not actually tracking your workouts, so you have the data to say, hey, I'm trending in the right direction, right?
Class basics.
Bro, basics is like, are you training to get stronger? If not, then why not? Okay. Are you getting an optimal amount of sleep to improve your performance and recovery? If not, get started. Are you drinking enough water to stay hydrated, stay focused, and actually get the most out of your training sessions? If not, but like there's a whole checklist of things before you should rush to adding 500 calories on top of your daily maintenance.
100%.
And all 5 of these, I can guarantee you right now, if you're doing those things, you'll never need a 500 calorie surplus.
100%.
You'll never need it.
Yeah, that's it. Like some people forget the basics. Like like it's like 80% of what you do. Harry's principle, right? 80% of what you do is going to make up the majority of the results. Yeah. And like you just said, like calories in place, water in place, hydration in place, progressive overload, like the basic stuff. That's what's going to get you.
No cheat.
The 20% is yeah, exactly. I mean, and that's, we make our coaching program incredibly simple for that exact reason. They don't overcomplicate. But I think we've pretty much hit a good amount here. We're at the hour mark. I think that's pretty much the sweet spot for myself and Damian when it comes to, we could chat all day. Of course, but the sun's starting to come out now, actually. It's very nice here, but again, feel a little bit coming over.
Yeah.
The bite's actually, you know what, like, it's feeling pretty good.
I mean,
is there any okay?
Bro, yeah, I mean, it's
I've got like an elbow and an elbow.
Dude, you could really like,
ooh, that is my dog.
Jesus
Christ.
Hey, boy.
That is,
you should definitely get yourself to a doctor's room for it.
that's a golf ball.
That's bigger than a golf ball, dude. That's a baseball. Yeah. But dude, it's been an absolute pleasure. It's been a privilege.
Don't take too hard on Harry. Yeah. You might get infected.
Yeah,
but it's been a great episode. Honestly, I think we've covered some great topics, and I mean, there's no doubt about it. There's going to be a round 4, I'm sure. Again, maybe this year, maybe next year. But people can ask us what they want to know, right? I think we should start diving into all different areas. But I think we'll consolidate it there.
I think what we can do is maybe just finish off on where can people find you if they want to get in touch with you.
Yeah, so I mean, Instagram is always going to be my main platform. So that's Chris_FitLab. YouTube, obviously, people are probably going to be watching this on YouTube at the moment. I don't actually know what my YouTube name is.
Chris, right?
Really honest. So we're friends with one or something like that. I'm not too sure. So they're probably the best places. Yeah, I'm not really. I don't really wouldn't say I'm that present in other places. What about yourself?
Damian _ the all-rounder. That's where you're going to find me on Instagram. And then also on YouTube, just Damian Schechter. And we'll obviously post some of the links below this.
Yeah.
Spotify,
yeah.
Obviously got the
Apple,
Lean 365.
Lean 365 is the podcast. Yeah. And obviously the YouTube. So guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, smash the like button. Make sure you subscribe. And I'm going to catch you in the next video.